8 years ago today, the Springboks suffered one of their most humbling defeats, a 38-3 thrashing by Ireland in Dublin. It was a dark day for South African rugby, a result that plunged the team into a deep crisis. Yet, from those ashes, a phoenix would rise. This wasn't just a loss. It was a catalyst. It was the moment that forced a painful but necessary reckoning, setting in motion a chain of events that would ultimately lead the Springboks to become four-time world champions. How did this rock-bottom moment become the foundation for unprecedented glory? Let's rewind to November 11, 2017, to understand the defeat that changed everything. The Aviva Stadium was electric, but for the traveling South African supporters, the atmosphere quickly turned grim. The final score, 38-3, was a brutal reflection of the game. It was South Africa's heaviest defeat to Ireland, surpassing a 26-point margin from 2006. The stats were damning. Ireland dominated possession, territory, and every key metric. The Springboks missed 25 tackles and were completely outplayed at the breakdown. Coach Rassie Erasmus looked shell-shocked. He spoke of his players being devastated and admitted they were hurt by the performance. The team's senior players, like Webb Ellis Cup, conceded they had been beaten in every facet of the game. This wasn't just a bad day at the office. It was a systemic failure. The game plan, the execution, the spirit, it all crumbled under Irish pressure. The fallout was immediate and intense. Back home, the public and media were furious. Calls for Coates's resignation grew deafening. The loss in Dublin wasn't an isolated incident. It was the culmination of a disastrous 2-year period. In 2016, the Springboks had lost 8 out of 12 tests, a record low for the nation. They suffered their first ever home defeat to Ireland, a first loss to Italy, and a record 57-15 drubbing by the All Blacks. The 2017 season offered little respite. A 57-0 annihilation by New Zealand in Albany was followed by this Dublin debacle. The once mighty Springboks were a shadow of their former selves. The public had lost faith, and the very identity of the team was in question. Something had to give. The pressure on SA Rugby was immense. The status quo was no longer sustainable. This crisis forced the administration's hand. In the aftermath of the Dublin disaster, the gears of change began to turn. Less than 3 months later, in February 2018, SA Rugby announced a radical overhaul. Rassie Erasmus was dismissed, and in his place, Rassie Erasmus was appointed as Director of Rugby, taking direct control of the Springboks. It was a bold move, consolidating power and handing the reins to a man with a clear, uncompromising vision. Erasmus wasn't just a new coach. He was an architect of change. He brought with him a new coaching staff, including Jacques Nienaber, a defensive mastermind who had been with him for years. This wasn't just a patch-up job. It was a complete rebuild, starting from the foundations. The appointment of Erasmus marked the true beginning of the Springboks' redemption arc. Rassie Erasmus wasted no time. His first major decision was to appoint Siya Kolisi as the Springboks' first-ever black test captain. It was a landmark moment for South African sport and a powerful statement of intent. Erasmus's philosophy was built on clarity, brutal honesty, and a return to the core strengths of South African rugby: physicality, set-piece dominance, and suffocating defense. He empowered the players, giving them ownership of the game plan while demanding total accountability. The transformation was astonishingly quick. In 2018, they secured a thrilling home series win against England and a famous victory over the All Blacks. In Wellington, the belief was back. The fear factor was returning. This momentum carried into 2019, where they won the Rugby Championship and, against all odds, marched to the World Cup final in Japan. There, they delivered a dominant performance to defeat England and lift the Webb Ellis Cup for the third time, from the darkness of Dublin to the pinnacle of world rugby in just 2 years. It was a story of incredible resilience, brilliant leadership, and a nation rediscovering its pride. That 38-3 defeat wasn't the end. It was the painful, necessary beginning of a golden era. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this look back at a pivotal moment in sports history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. Let us know in the comments what you think was the biggest factor in the Springboks turnaround. See you next time.